What's up, guys? It's Russo with Backdoor Fantasy Sports. Hope you had a great weekend, a great Black Friday, a great Thanksgiving. And we're here to talk about NFL Sunday. I spent a lot of time on these picks. I actually have 7 plays on Prizepicks that I like. So we got a 6-man and a 6-man that has 5 of the same plays with 1 pivot. And then we're also going with a 5-man ladder slip. So we've got, I'll try to get through it as soon as possible, but probably going to be a lengthy video. We're going to cover some bonus plays on the DFS optimizer at the end as well for Prizepicks and Underdog. So yeah, we're going to have some fun. We're going to try to hit this 6-man. We almost hit it on Thanksgiving. I think I've still got it up here, actually. Maybe not. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, the only one we missed. So this is our next opportunity. We didn't do so well on Black Friday. We tried to aim for another 6-man. I got a little crazy. I was doing too many videos, I think. But yeah, as far as having more than one game to choose from, we came close. So we're going to try to hit that 6-man tomorrow. And so let's talk about the plays. So I told you guys I have 2 different 6-mans with 1 play different. So the first one that I made was Michael Wilson, 4.5 receptions. Love this. I think people are overhyping Marvin Harrison Jr. coming back. I think that Michael Wilson is going to retain a solid role in this offense. You can't fake that connection with Jacoby. Like, it's just, I mean, it wasn't there with him and Marvin Harrison Jr. So we'll get into all that when we start breaking down the play. I'm getting ahead of myself. But so this was the play that I had taken. Jaxon, Smith-Njigba, 94.5 receiving yards. We're taking this for more. And it was bumping around a lot. And so I think it jumped up to 97.5, which I still think he could hit, but I'll tell you guys why when we're breaking it down, why I maybe want to pivot taking it that high. But we're also going to take John Metchie, wide receiver for the Jets, 8.5 fantasy score. Taking that for more, absolutely. And then we're going to take Kenneth Gainwell over 9.5 fantasy score. Love this matchup against Buffalo. Also like Warren in this game. Going to be taking Ty Johnson. We're going to run it back with his 11.5 receiving yards. I think he's good to go there. It's way too low for him. And then we're going to go Quinshon Judkins with his 12 fantasy score. Taking that for more. This is going to be a fun one because we're going to talk about the weather out in Cleveland. Good chance of snow. Maybe the field will be clear, but this is going to be running back weather. So the pivot here, if we don't take the Jaxon, Smith-Njigba, if it is too high and you're like, I don't know, I think you're making sense here, that might be a little too high, you can pivot here to Travis Etienne, 13.5 fantasy score is what I'm going to take on this other one. That's the same lineup, just with Travis Etienne fantasy score in there for Jaxon, Smith-Njigba. Now for the ladders play on Underdog, we're going to take the Quinshon Judkins rushing yards. So if you haven't played ladders yet, it's awesome. It's all yardage plays. It's an Underdog original. I don't know, maybe they have something similar, but I'm pretty sure this is just an Underdog thing. But it's all yardage plays, and you get 3 different tiers that your player needs to hit. So if they all hit their first tier, this is automatically going to lock us in for 2.5x. If they all hit their mid tier, which is basically any given line that's going to be on these platforms. So if they hit their regular line, it locks in for 10. If they hit their high line, which is not even that crazy of a line on a lot of these, it jumps up to 1,000x. So a $1 play will turn into $1,000 if they all hit their high line. It's only 5 plays. And so you get the insurance in there, you get the low lines, you could walk away with a little bit at the very least. Yeah, there's just a lot of different ways to win, and I love what Underdog's doing with ladders. So this is what we're going to be taking. Quinshon Judkins. Let me pull it up on my phone as usual because I can't see it on my screen. I got too much stuff going on this little screen I got. So Quinshon Judkins, his lines are at 55 yards, 69 yards, and 120. So 120 would be a big day for sure, but that's why they're going to give us 1,000x. 55, I think he should be good to go. And then it's a little bit different. It's not just 1-for-1 with the Prizepicks plays. We're going to go in this Jaguars-Titans game. We're going to go backup tight end Gunnar Helm. For his line is 15 yards, 27 yards, and then 70 yards is the high line. Travis Etienne, we're going to take him in the same game. Rushing yards, 50, 64, and 120. So 120 would be kind of high, but he's already done it this season. And I like this matchup against Tennessee. We're going to take Michael Wilson receiving yards, 40, 57, and 110. And then we're going to go John Metchie, 20, 36, and 80. So he doesn't need to go too crazy. This seems very doable. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we're at least going to lock in and hit that 10x, but man, it would be nice to hit that 1000x on Sunday to wrap up our holiday weekend. So if you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, use code BACKDOOR, and if you play your $5, you get $100 in bonus funds when you put that code in. If you go through the link below, it should just automatically put the code in for you, so you don't have to worry about missing out on all the bonuses and whatnot. But yeah, really killer platform. They also have streaks, which is a lot of fun. And ladders is just so much fun for football. And you can actually, I don't know if I've mentioned this on here, but you can mix and match too. If there's basketball plays you like, you can just take some of the plays with NFL, put together a ladder slip. So for basketball, it's all points. So it's yardage for NFL, points for basketball. You can make a mixer on there. Go check it out, code BACKDOOR. And then, sorry, chalkboard here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Code BACKDOOR on chalkboard is going to get you a free pick to help you cash your first slip, plus a 100% deposit match up to $100. So $100 gets you $200 to play with. And then you'll also get the free pick to help you get in the green out of the gates. Sleeper, the code is BACKDOORFS. So make sure you add the FS. All my codes are down below if you want to make sure you're putting the right ones in. Most of them are code BACKDOOR. Some of them you got to throw the FS on the end there. Sleeper is going to give you a $20 free entry, no deposit required, a protected play, and a deposit match. So they're giving you a lot over at Sleeper if you guys want to go check that out. All right, so let's start getting into the breakdowns here. Do not forget to like the video if you appreciate what I'm doing here with the channel, and you tune in for the content. All I'm asking, even if you don't have to, I hope you sign up for the codes and all that stuff. But really, if you want to help me out, just hit that like button, because it goes a long way with content creators. It's the way the algorithm works, and it'll also get my push notifications to you faster. All right, we're going to start here with Jaxon, Smith-Njigba. So receiving yards. I mean, he's been pretty automatic. He's the #1 wide receiver in the NFL for a reason. He's been playing out of his mind. Him and Sam Darnold are just a match made in heaven, and it's been just continuous here. The only thing that concerns me, I like the 94.5. Even that had me like a little bit nervous. What I'm concerned about here is, what are the Vikings going to look like? We're playing in Seattle, and we got no JJ McCarthy, who was already I'd be nervous with JJ. Now we've got the guy behind JJ, like the third string guy. I don't even remember his name. It's some new guy who has no experience in real games. I mean, maybe he played like a little bit, but he's not started before, as far as I understand. Now he's got to go into Seattle and play Seattle. It's just been a mess in Minnesota. We've got a 41.5 point over under. They're not expecting it to be that high scoring. 11.5 point spread. This is a rough debut. Hopefully he comes out and looks better than JJ. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult to. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks thrive with Kevin O'Connell, and so all that being said, I don't know what to expect from this kid. This could be nasty. It could be that Jaxon Smith-Njigba is just hanging out, keeping himself healthy, sitting out the fourth quarter. We've seen it many times this year. When they get up by a lot, they're not going to risk their #1 weapon like that. They're being very careful with JSN. They're giving him like all that he needs, and then if the game is out of reach for the other team, they're taking their prized possession and they're saying, you go sit on the bench, thank you for everything you did, but we're not going to risk you getting injured over something stupid. And I think it's smart. So he could absolutely blow this out of the water. But yeah, if we take a look, so let's look here. Games that they've won by at least 12 points, since we have 11.5 point spread. He's hit the yardage. He went for 103. So this is set at 99, but his highest outing of his misses was 96. So if you're getting at 97.5, you are right on the cusp there. This could get ugly. If they get up by a lot, I mean, he could also just crush this. So 50-50 shot, on games that they win by at least 12 points. So that's my only hesitation. My gut's saying he's probably going to crush this again. You could look at the first half receiving yards if you prefer. But the thing that could keep him somewhat under is, on paper, Minnesota is good against the pass. Receiving yards allowed, they're ranked 8th. About 125.5 a game is what they're giving up to wide receivers. So their defense is pulling their weight a little bit while their offense isn't. So yeah, make of that what you will. If we come down here and take a look, this is the wide receivers hitting their lines and not hitting their lines. So we've got 5 hits, 5 misses. A little bit of and some of these names, the guys that are getting there, like Dontavian Wicks hit, Christian Watson hit. Their lines were lower, 47.5 and 19.5. They both beat their lines. Romeo Doubs did not in that game. DJ Moore and Roma Dunze didn't hit their lines. Luther Burden hit his. His line was low at 17.5. Zacchaeus in that same game didn't, but that doesn't really mean much because a lot of mouths to feed at that point. He's like the odd man out. It's all DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and Luther Burden at this point. Rashad Bateman hasn't been doing much anyways. Lamar's playing like trash, so we're going to not pay too much mind to that. DeAndre Hopkins hit his. It was really low, 12.5. Zay Flowers hit his. It was kind of high, 64.5. He went for 75. So make of it what you will. I just think that there's a solid chance that the Seahawks just absolutely dominate this game. That's my only hesitation, but I still took it. I took it at 94.5. So it's only 3 yards difference from what last I saw at. So I think I said enough about Jaxon Smith-Njigba. I think that it's probably just going to be that he crushes again. But I was like, but I also really love the Etienne play. We'll get to that. All right, Michael Wilson. This one shouldn't be too difficult. I think people are overhyping the return of Marvin Harrison Jr., and I love it because look, they're giving us a 4.5 receptions line against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are we doing here? He's got a super soft matchup, 29th in receptions allowed, about 13.5 to any, to wide receivers across the board. Jacoby Brissett has been heavily targeting him, and I think this time off, we've not seen Marvin Harrison Jr. have any games like this yet, have we? Like with the amount of targets, 18 targets, first game Harrison was out, and then 15 targets the following game. So yeah, against San Francisco, he put up 15 receptions for, 185 yards. And then I think he went for 110 yards, 15 targets, and 10 receptions against the Jaguars. Now, both of those are pretty solid matchups as well, 31st and 29th. So about tied is what he has here. So with the return of Marvin Harrison Jr., we've already had, Drew, is it Drew Petzing? I should know. It's the Cardinals offensive coordinator, but they're saying that they're not planning on dialing back Michael Wilson too much. It's not going to be that he's just back to his old role. It's like he's proved too much over the last 2 weeks. So I think he's going to be solid moving forward. I really do. If we look here, receptions wise, we've got a decent amount of hits. We've got Devontae Adams didn't hit his, but he still went for 5. 5.5 was his line. He went for 5. Jordan Whittington went for 3, cashed his. Puka Nacua went for 7, just barely missed his 7.5. So all 3 of those guys were right near their line. You got Josh Palmer cashed his. Khalil Shakir did not. Curtis Samuel, he did. Matt Collins did. Steph Diggs cashed. And then Demario Douglas and Kyle Williams, who aren't really getting much work anyways right now, did not cash theirs. Now, when it comes to the ladders play for his receiving yards, I love the receptions down at 4.5. I just think that that's way too low. But we'll look at the receiving yards here. So yeah, he went for, so I was wrong. It wasn't 110. It was 185 and 118. And then the matchup's still soft. So not only are they allowing a decent amount of receptions to wide receivers, they're also allowing a lot of yardage too, which kind of goes hand in hand. But the yardage is up at 164. And they allow a decent amount to tight ends too. And the reason I like that that they do is because it's not like Trey McBride is going to be eating into these numbers that we're looking at. Trey McBride can go eat at the tight end numbers, which some matchups we do look at that and say like, well, Trey McBride gets a lot of targets as well. And he does, but I'm not concerned about this because they allow a decent amount to both. Yeah, look at Trey up top there, just beasting, just leading 26% target share. We're in week 13. Dude's just still own it. Yeah, look at how great the wide receiver, the receiving yards look. Puka, while he didn't hit his receptions, he cashed his receiving yards. Devontae, Jordan Whittington, all those guys cashed. In that Buffalo game, Gabe Davis, Tyrell Shavers. I mean, he had to have beat his receptions line. Maybe they didn't have a receptions line out for him. That's what this is pulling up recent props that were available on different platforms. Yeah, Tyrell Shavers went for 90. Gabe Davis went for 40. So I feel good about him being able to get us to that top tier on the ladders play. You had Curtis Samuel cashed his receiving yards. Kyle Williams, while he didn't cash those receptions, he still went for 72 yards. So this is a really soft matchup here. So yeah, I like him again this week, and I love that they're dropping his line solo. And look at this, Marvin Harrison's still questionable. Appendix was listed as limited on Thursday's practice report. Maintained his listed activity level from Wednesday, which marked his first notable on-field work since undergoing his appendicotomy. In week 10 so far, he's missed 2 games as a result, but Friday's injury report will unveil. So there's no updates that I'm seeing. I'm guessing that he's cleared to play. But we'll see. Either way, I think if he was 100% healthy, I still think that Michael Wilson has proven too much at this point. All right, I'll try to speed things up a little bit here. All right, so John Metchie, we're taking this fantasy score. Let's talk about it for a minute. I got the receiving yards up, so we'll start there. They are calling for, in this game, a little bit of rain. This is outdoors in, playing, it's at the Jets. So outdoors, it's going to be cold, but it's supposed to be like light rain. It's supposed to be like, I think that they're expecting like not even an inch. It's like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. So it's going to probably be light rain throughout the game. So it doesn't really concern me much. He's been getting decent work. And if you look at, he hasn't played much. He had gotten traded to the Eagles. He had 4 targets as an Eagle, brought down all 4 of them. Didn't get much work, gets traded over to the Jets, gets 1 target, pulls it in, still no misses. Following game against New England, gets 3 targets, pulls them all in. He's got 1 miss on the season. Now I know this isn't a whole lot of activity, but this dude can catch the ball. He's a good wide receiver, is the point I'm trying to make here. So going up against Atlanta, middle of the road, 15th in receiving yards allowed, about 138.1 per game. So we do like his ability to maybe hit that upside there. We see a decent amount of cashes here on receiving yards. So we like the upside there for the ladders play when we're talking receiving yards, and then matchup for the fantasy score that we're taking. But if we look at the touchdowns matchup for the fantasy score, we like it a lot. 21st in touchdowns allowed to wide receivers, more than 1 touchdown per game. So 1.1 is what any given team is able to do against Atlanta. He's got touchdowns in 2 straight games. So Tyrod Taylor, who's the starter right now, has been targeting him. So I'm feeling good about him getting in there. While there isn't, like, we're not seeing a whole lot here. This is also like New Orleans, a bunch of New Orleans receivers. Like those top 5 are all just like, I mean, Chris Olave didn't get in, but then we got like Mason Tipton, Kevin Austin, Devon Vele, Dante Pettis. Like these are all just kind of like no-namers. Xavier Legette got in when he was still with Carolina. He got in for a touchdown. Then you got Teteroa McMillan. He got in for 2. Is that the same game, 11-16? Yeah. So they allowed 3 touchdowns to wide receivers in this game. And then the next game that the Outliers pulling up was just this game against New Orleans with a lot of samples to go off of. So they had a lot of touchdown props floating around for those guys. None of them hit. But we know the matchup is 21st. So I love this fantasy score overall. On Prizepicks sitting at 8.5. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. 13.5, that first game against New England, tough matchup. And then Baltimore, soft matchup, 18.5. So 1 touchdown in each of those. But we're getting this to 8.5, so I got to take it. I feel good about it. Even with like a little bit of rain, cold weather, it doesn't scare me. All right, Kenneth, Gainwell. I said I like Warren as well, but Gainwell has just been he's been playing good, and Arthur Smith loves him. And I mean, like, I just think that he's sort of cemented his role as at least someone who's going to continue to get work. He's great pass catcher. He gets a lot of the pass catching plays, the pass catching looks. Back-to-back weeks, beating this fantasy score, going for 29.5 against Cincinnati, and then against the Bears, he puts up 18.2. We just saw Saquon couldn't get anything going in that game against the Bears, and he was able to get it done. Let's look at a little bit of what he was doing there. So rushing and receiving, yeah, both of these weeks he went for 105 total and 122 on rushing and receiving. The rushing yards matchup is nice and soft. 30th in rushing yards allowed, 117.8 is what they're giving up to any given team. And then they're a little bit tougher against receiving yards, ranked third, about 23 receiving yards. That can be a little bit tricky too, because not every team utilizes the running back with pass catching the way Gainwell gets used. So you got to keep that in mind. But let's go to rushing yards only. Actually, before we do, rush attempts. So 9 and 10. So he's getting a decent amount of work on the ground. He's definitely still the backup as far as rushing plays go. But look at the targets. 8 targets, 7 receptions, 6 targets, 6 receptions, and back-to-back weeks. So that's going to stack up. That's going to add up quick for fantasy score on Prizepicks, because we're full point PPR. So every reception is worth 1 point. So you got 7 points right there in receptions alone. Then you got 6 points in receptions alone. And you got the yardage. If he gets into the end zone, you're in good shape. And this is Buffalo. Running backs have just been eating against Buffalo. We've been targeting them. Let's take a look here. Let's look at the touchdowns matchup. 30th in touchdowns allowed to running backs, almost 1.5. So 1.4 touchdowns allowed to running backs any given team. So he had 2 touchdowns against Cincinnati. Didn't even get in the end zone against Chicago. Still put up, what did we say? Was it 18 fantasy points? I think it was. Oops. Okay, I want to go back to the fantasy score. So we're going to go back to the fantasy score real quick and see. So Sean Tucker went for 34. Devon Etienne went for 40.5. Kareem Hunt went for 12.5. This is what they're pulling up as of late. So yeah, it's looking great. Guys have been eating, absolutely eating. And I think he and Warren are going to beat their lines. I thought about taking Warren on the ladders play. Ended up electing to just take Etienne instead, because they had Warren's rushing yards up there a little bit. He did have 18 carries last week, so this is a great matchup for him, but I think it was something like 120 rushing yards was the top tier, and it was just a little too rich for my blood. So we'll keep it moving here. Ty Johnson. Yeah, we've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, how he's being utilized as a pass catcher. And he's being efficient. So, 4 straight weeks, catching everything thrown his way. It's not a lot, but this is 11.5 receiving yards. Average yards per reception, averaging about 13.8. Let's look at the median, 11.5. So that's what they're giving us as his median. Tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but he's being utilized like a wide receiver. And he just continues to get a few looks, and that's all we need here. And he's been a solid pass catcher. So I just think this is a low hanging fruit, and I'll be taking it here. But yeah, he's gone for 4 straight weeks. He's cashed it. 12 against Kansas City, 24 against Miami, 61 against Tampa Bay, 45 against Houston. Houston's very tough, and he still got 45. How many receptions was that? He got 3 targets, 3 receptions, turns it into 45 yards. So this is a real easy. I wish this was on ladders. So if we look at recent matchups, DeAndre Swift beat his was at 11.5 as well. He went for 14. Kyle Monungai didn't get any targets, I'm guessing, in that game. Chase Brown went for 28 when his line was 19.5. Kamani Vidal went for 13 when his line was 9.5. So we got a couple cashes, a couple misses here. take it if you want. I love the way they're using Ty Johnson. And while it's not a ton of targets, it's consistent. It's almost a month straight here of him being used in the passing game, and the type of targets he's getting, he's catching them all. So I think he's going to go well over 11.5. I was hoping he would be on ladders, but he wasn't, unfortunately. So going to be taking that for more. All right, Quinshon Judkins. Do I have this pulled up? Let's talk about the weather real quick. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw, but they put out a little video of the Browns practicing. I think it was today. And there was snow. There was a lot of snow. It wasn't like crazy, like the Snow Bowl that Buffalo has once a year or whatever, but it was a lot of snow. It's cold out there right now. So there's a chance of snow tomorrow. I think we'll probably see it if it's anything like that video was. 21 mile an hour winds sustained, and then 33 mile an hour gusts. So the weather's going to be kind of nasty. I think this is going to be more of a running back type of game is what I'm hoping for here. So I like his fantasy score. If we look at the matchup against San Francisco, they have been somewhat decent about keeping running backs out of the end zone. 11th in touchdowns allowed, 0.8. So just under 1 touchdown a game. There's expected value here for him getting in the end zone with the touchdown matchup. Let's take a look. I mean, this is going to be kind of a tough one, but I'm banking on the weather being a factor here. Last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, he went for a 16.7 fantasy score. We only have one that they're pulling up here, but it is Bam Knight. He went for 14.5 when his line was at 9. So Bam Knight is just like getting snaps because James Conner went out, and then Trey Benson went out. And then now it's like Bam Knight is kind of a no-namer, didn't earn a spot on a roster anywhere. And he went and put up 14.5 fantasy score against San Francisco, who like just dominated them in that game, I'm pretty sure. But it was still a great outing for Michael Wilson, and Bam Knight was able to get in the end zone, I'm pretty sure. So let's look at the matchup for rushing and receiving yards. He's not totally utilized in the receiving game much, but somewhat soft matchup either way. 12th in rushing yards allowed to running backs, 84.5 is what they're giving up. And then 24th in receiving yards. So running backs are able to break off a decent amount of receiving yards, about 36 a game. Let's go down here and take a look at what some of these lines are looking like. About 50-50, guys cashing and not. That's crazy. Rico Dowdle, he was so misused in that game. I don't know. I think he had like 8 or 9 carries. Like, I don't get it. They were playing great when they were giving Rico like 20 carries a game, and then they just haven't been doing that. I don't know if it's something to do with his lingering minor injury that he had a few weeks ago, maybe. I don't know. But you had Kyron Williams put up 84 rushing plus receiving yards. Let's look at just the rushing yards, actually, since that's the ladders line. Where are we at here? By the way, if you guys want to try Outlier, sign up through the link below, and they're going to give you a week just to check it out. It's really dope. All right. So yeah, the rushing yards looks like a little bit more leaning towards guys cashing. Chuba Hubbard beat his, Blake Corum beat his, Kyron Williams. So you got 2 running backs, same game, cash theirs. Tyrone Tracy didn't get his done, but he's kind of a bum anyways. Devin Singletary cashed his 43 when his line was just 17.5. Nick Chubb went for 56 when his line was 31.5. Same game, Woody Marks went for 62 when it was 34.5. So we're looking for that upside of the weather being a factor, and hopefully him getting just a lot of carries in this game. It's been kind of down, but we're hoping for more of like this type of an outing, like 20 plus carries is what we're hoping for here. Let's look at what they're calling this over under. I'm just kind of curious. Okay. Yeah. So it seems about right. 35.5. They're not expecting it to be super high scoring. 5.5 point spread. The 49ers are playing pretty solid. In my opinion, I think they're one of those teams that are always just, they're kind of just always right there, capable of making a run. And the Browns, it's just been all defense. But we do have our second game here that we're going to be starting with Shedeur Sanders. which I thought he looked good. I thought he looked good in his start, and it was an easy matchup. And I know that people are saying like, oh, it's overhyped. He didn't even do that much. Some of those throws looked really good. In my opinion. And finally give him a chance. We were watching Dylan Gabriel throw these like hospital balls like for like 6 weeks straight. And it's like, are we really not going to just see what Shedeur can do? It took Dylan Gabriel getting injured. They're like, all right, Shedeur, get out there. And then it's like, dude, he looked way better than Dylan Gabriel. So I think that, they're going to be playing in Cleveland. We'll see if this weather is a factor with Shedeur, but I like Judkins in this game. All right, so now we're just into the ladders slip. We've covered all the prize picks. This is the leftover plays for ladders. This is Gunnar Helm, who I was telling you guys about. Maybe you're already familiar. He's the backup tight end for Tennessee, and he's got a soft matchup. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they're a great team who has not even seen their full potential yet. But yeah, the matchup here, they do allow a lot through the air. 26th in receiving yards allowed, and then to tight ends, look at this, 29th, almost like just over 70 yards a game, just to tight ends, 70.8. We don't see that very often. If we come down here and take a look, it's looking pretty solid. Not a huge sample size, but you had Trey McBride go for 79. His line was 74.5. Elijah Higgins, the backup in Arizona, he didn't have any catches in that game, 0 yards. Aronde Gadsden didn't catch his line at 50.5. He went for 41 though, still decent outing. Dalton Schultz beat his of 35.5. He went for 53. Brock Bowers, his line was at 49.5. He went for 127. I'm not saying that Gunnar Helm's going to do that, but Michael Mayer, same game. His line was 9.5. He went for 26. So as of late, tight ends have been cashing. We love this 70-yard average. And Chig Okonkwo, I believe, is questionable for this game too. I like Chig if he plays. I think that he'll probably beat his line as well, but I think that so he's dealing with something with his foot. Questionable for Sunday's game against the Jaguars. So that could mean even more here for Gunnar Helm. And if we take a look down here, we'll look at this back-to-back weeks. We're starting to see a little spike. It got a little volatile here for a minute. With his usage, and then he had 5 targets, 4 receptions against Houston, tough matchup. He turned that into 29 yards. That's not too bad. And then 7 targets, 6 receptions against Seattle, turned it into 51. So that's a tough matchup, I think. Even though it's a little bit softer to tight end, it's like it's still Seattle. It still says something. Now he's got a soft matchup here against the Jags. Let's see what they're calling this game. Where are we at? Earlier up here. Okay. 41.5 point over under. So again, not expecting it to be too crazy. 5.5 point spread favoring the Jags. I think the Jags could do a lot more than 5.5, but Tennessee has been on defense looking like they've cleaned things up in the last couple of weeks. So they're not just like the pushover that they used to be. A few weeks ago, until proven otherwise. It looks like they're kind of figuring things out. And these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. Like it never shocks me when you see a trash team all of a sudden start cleaning things up. Like, because that's why they get paid that much money, because these guys are all professionals still. So don't be surprised when, except for the Raiders, right? The Raiders, I feel bad for the Raiders fans because I'm a Cardinals fan, so I feel your pain. But it just sucks when your team, they should be better than they are. Anyways, you also didn't have Brock Bowers for half the season. But anyways, yeah, I think that the Jags are going to do more than a 5.5 point spread here personally. But yeah, so either way, the Titans should be playing from behind. And they don't have a whole lot of options with pass catching. And so I like Gunnar Helm, especially with Chig questionable. So I lied. So this is the pivot play. There is one left for prize picks. Travis Etienne. This looks beautiful. So part of the reason when I saw the JSN bump, I was like, because I was kind of nervous. I was like 90% there on thinking JSN's just going to crush again. And he probably will. But if that game gets out of hand and they do rest him, like maybe I'd rather pivot to Travis Etienne. So first of all, he's got a great matchup here against the Titans. 27th in rushing yards allowed, about just under 110 yards a game to running backs. He's getting a ton of the usage here. Now I know he hasn't gone up to this top tier. We need him to get over 120 for the ladders play. So it's going to take a lot, but he has done it twice this year. 124 against San Francisco, 143 against Carolina. What was that rush attempts looking like? So he did that on 16 attempts. So he's breaking off some big plays against Carolina. And then he had 19 attempts against San Francisco. So he had the volume there. But we got 4 straight weeks with at least 15 carries. So Liam Cohen has been definitely making a statement like, we are going to have one running back that's going to be doing the majority of the work. Just like he was doing with Bucky Irving in Tampa Bay. And I think that's going to be the case here. We just looked at that 5.5. So they're going to be leading. And then as far as fantasy score goes, I mean, they're projected to be leading. I think they'll be leading, but we're playing in Tennessee. The weather is it's going to be cold, a little bit of rain. Touchdowns. So we got expected value on the touchdowns here for Etienne, and the Tennessee Titans have been giving up a lot of touchdowns to running backs. 30th in touchdowns allowed, 1.4 per game. So almost a touchdown and a half to any given team. Let's look at the fantasy score overall, because he's been doing well lately. We got 4 straight weeks of at least 15.7 fantasy score. And then we only have 2 samples here. Kenneth Walker, he beat his 13.1 when his line was just 13. So he just barely cashed his. And then it's pulling up for some reason. I don't know why they don't have more examples than this. I know there's been more fantasy score options, maybe not against Tennessee, who knows. But Jonathan Taylor, we all remember this way back on October 26th, 37.4. I think he had 3 touchdowns that game. His line was at 22.5. He still went for 37.4. So I think that Etienne gets in the end zone. I think he's going to easily beat this fantasy score. And I do like the upside of maybe him because he's capable of having some big breakout plays. So we need a couple of those for him to hit that high tier of 120 rushing yards on ladders. But I think he can get it done. Was there anything else weather-wise that I was wanting to show you guys? I guess not. So we're going to get into some bonus plays. So this is the DFS optimizer from Daily Grind. This tool just crunches all the numbers between it goes across all the platforms that you can think of, anything that you can play on. It crunches all those numbers and it says, what are all the odds makers saying on all of these platforms? Okay, what's the line you're getting this at on Prizepicks? And then they're telling you like, you're getting a deal here, or you're not getting a deal here. Don't take this. Looks like there's a lot of overs to get us started for tomorrow. If you guys want this tool for yourself, use code BACKDOOR. You get 25% off for as long as you want to lock that in. It can be a month, it can be a year. If you want to take advantage of NBA and just ride it out for the season and all that stuff, that code will lock it in for as long as you decide. All right, so we got Tyler Shuck here, 13.5 fantasy score. They love it. 60% odds to hit the over. Matthew Stafford, a lot of quarterbacks up top here, 18.5, 60% odds to hit the over. Stafford's been playing great, obviously. Kirk Cousins, he looked like he was kind of getting a little bit of his swag back in that last game. We'll see here, though. 12 fantasy score is low. We also don't have Drake London, unfortunately, I don't think, this week. 58% odds to hit the over of the 12 fantasy score. Tua Tagovailoa, over 15 fantasy score, 58%. Geno Smith, 13 fantasy score, over 58%. Rodgers. So they're just basically saying Prizepicks is pricing these quarterbacks too low. 14 for Rodgers, 58% odds to hit the over. Bryce Young, 12.5, 58%-ish. Then we got Jeffrey Simmons. We got a defensive play here. Tackles plus assists, 3.5. They're saying take the over, 57.86% odds to hit the over. Jonathan Taylor, they don't like the fantasy score. I'm not taking this under. I know it's a tough matchup. It is Houston, but it's JT. If anything, this is a fade for me if you don't like it. But I think, he could be stopped. Kansas City stopped him. And you got Daniel Jones, who's kind of got this sustaining mild injury that he's dealing with. Kind of affects the energy of the offense a little bit. 54.75% odds to hit the under. I'm not advising taking Jonathan Taylor under, though. Bijan Robinson, under 20 fantasy score, 54.56% odds to hit the under. Jordan Mason, under his rushing yards. Yeah, maybe maybe 32.5. They're saying take the under 54.25%. Yeah, going up against the Seahawks with this quarterback who has got to be better than JJ though, right? JJ's been playing so bad. Taysom Hill rush attempts. They like him over 7.5 here. 54.18% odds to hit on his rush attempts. Christian McCaffrey, again, they're saying take the under on the fantasy score. I can't do it. I can't. I'd rather just fade it. But 54%, if that's your type of thing, they're saying take the under on his fantasy score. Chris Olave, under 6 receptions, about 54% odds to hit the under. Kenneth Gainwell, we like to see it. 48.5 rushing plus receiving yards. They're saying take the over. 54%. Yep, I hope he crushes. Zonovan Knight, 2.5 receptions. They're saying take the under. 53.88%. Shadur Sanders, pass plus rush yards. They're saying take the under. Maybe they're thinking weather. It is higher on Prizepicks too, 174.5. We're seeing some of these platforms like BetMGM has it down at 164.5. That's a 10-point swing there. But we have some higher than that too. We have some 176. So it's kind of, I mean, there's a big spread here between these platforms. But yeah, Shadur, we'll see. I hope that weather isn't too crazy for him, but at the same time, I think it could lend itself to helping us with a Judkins play. Nick Scott, tackles plus assists over 6, 53.63% odds to hit the over, minus 136. Do a couple more here and then we'll get into some underdog. Daniel Jones, pass attempts over 31, 53.58% odds to hit the over, minus 132. Jaxon, Smith-Njigba, under 7 receptions. See why I'm a little nervous about the receiving yards, but I still think he's getting over that 7 receptions personally. But if he, I don't know, man, this is one of those where your gut just wants to say, yes, he's going to crush all of this. But then, I don't know. I'm a little slightly nervous. I hope I'm wrong. I've got him in Dynasty too, so I'd love for him to just crush. 53.58% odds to hit the under. It is at 7 on Prizepicks, and all these other odds makers are saying, let's set it at 6.5 because they don't even want to put it at 7. So make of that what you will. Jonathan Taylor plus Woody Marks got a combo here, rushing yards combo. They're saying take the under on 141.5. 53.56. Again, that's a fade for me. Justin Reed, tackles plus assists. They're saying take him over 6, 53.55% odds to hit the over. Kyron Williams, fantasy score under 13.5, 53.47% odds to hit the over, or the under, my bad. Jaxon Dart, is he back? Is he cleared to play? I wonder. That's Monday. We'll get into that tomorrow night, but for the receivers, it's been fun having Jameis Winston. Jaxon Dart, I love him. I think he's looked great. But at what point do you say, okay, guys, let's be careful with Dart. We know he's the guy. So let's just maybe ride out the rest of the season with Jameis Winston. If Jameis plays, and we're not here to talk about Monday night, but if Jameis plays, I'll be looking at some wide receivers for the Giants tomorrow. Dalton Schultz, receptions under 4.5, 53.34% odds to hit the under, minus 132. We got James Cook, rush attempts over 17.5. They like it, 53.34%. All right, let's pivot over to Underdog. Once again, code BACKDOOR will get you 25% off of this tool. You can have it for yourself. And this tool is really fun, like right before game time too, because you get all this injury news, you get these updates, you get lines changing a bunch, and the optimizer's just catching all that. So you don't have to like be bouncing around news and stuff. You can just be like, okay, who's missing what? And the optimizer does all the work for you. All right. Okay. Dang. Okay. Underdog. So we've got Tyler Shuck as well. They're saying take the over on his fantasy score, which is up at 13.65 on Underdog. What was it on Prizepicks? It's not pulling it up here, but I thought it was higher than that or lower. Was that 14 or something? 59.59% odds to hit the over. Or was it at 13 flat? I don't know. I know we were getting like 60% juice on it. So minus 147. Okay, I'm excited. Gunnar Helm. This is a low line. 2.5 receptions. We got Chigakonkwo, questionable. And he already, like, Chig was in both of those last 2 games when he had, what did we say, 4 receptions and 5 receptions, is what I think it was. Or was it 5 receptions and 6? I don't know, but 2.5 sounds great. I'll take the over all day. 57.32% odds to hit the over, minus 157. Geno Smith fantasy score, they like it over 13.55. 56.87% odds to hit the over. Aaron Rodgers fantasy score, 14.45. 56.82% odds to hit the over. Bryce Young fantasy score, 13.05. 56% odds to hit the over. Okay, we got a kicker here, Matt Gay. They're saying the 6.5 kicking points is a good deal on Underdog. Take the over is what the optimizer is saying. 56%. It's up at 7.5 and 7 everywhere else. So that is a good deal. Justin Reed, looks like his tackles plus assists is up a little bit. They're uncomfortable with it. That's pretty interesting though, because the 6.5 is juiced to the under. And on Prizepicks, this was juiced over and it's just at 6. So that's where you got these, they're smashing the odds makers' opinions together, and they're putting maybe a little too much juice going one way or the other. Puka Nacua, fantasy score under 17.25. Now, Puka, I'm not taking this. I'm not taking the under on someone like Puka personally, but I will say it is half-point PPR on Underdog, so it is a lot harder to really stack up the fantasy score. So you just got to keep that in mind. Prizepicks, you can stack that up a lot quicker. Okay, Emmanuel Forbes Jr., tackles plus assists, 2.5. They're saying take the over, 55.2% odds to hit the over, minus 139. Trey McBride, fantasy score, they're saying take the under, 14.85. I won't do it, 55%, but I won't do it because I love Trey, because the Cardinals are my team. Tua Tagovailoa, fantasy score over 16.45, about 55% odds to hit. Justin Herbert pass attempts, they're saying take the under on the 32.5. It's about 55%. 32.5 is about as high as anybody's putting it. So that is on the high side. You can get it down at 31.5 on DraftKings, 32 flat on Prizepicks. Matthew Stafford over 20.65 fantasy score, 54.73% odds to hit the over. Devon Etienne, they're saying take his fantasy score under. I'm not interested, but 19.25. Even if it is high, I'm not interested in taking the under on someone like Etienne. 54.6%. Renardo Green, tackles plus assists, 3.5. They like it over. 54.5%. Josh Allen fantasy score, it is kind of high. He is Josh Allen, so I mean this is a fade for me too. 22.05. 54.49% odds to hit the under, but it's just scary because it's Josh Allen. Kyron Williams, fantasy score under 13.05, 54.37% odds to hit. Brock Purdy over 27.5 pass attempts, 54.37%. Travion Henderson, 13.75 fantasy score. They're saying take the under, 54.31%. A little scary to me. Bijan, take the fantasy score under is what the optimizer says, 18.05, 54.26% odds to hit. Yeah, it's a fade. Aaron Jones, fantasy score under 10.65, 54.25%, minus 118. Jaxon Smith-Njigba over 6.5 receptions, so you get the receptions down a little bit lower. They're saying take the over there. And then we'll end it here with Emeka Egbuka, under 12.25 fantasy score, 54.11%. That's going to do it, guys. I appreciate you tuning into the show. Thank you so much. A lot of you guys have been dropping me some comments, showing some love, and I appreciate you guys so much. So enjoy your Sunday. Hit me in the comments if you have questions about any plays. Don't forget, if you use any of my codes, hit me in the at the email below. And just show me a little screenshot of you using my code, and I'll throw you a free month in the premium Discord as well. Do not forget to like the video on your way out. Hype it up if you enjoy the show. And have a good Sunday, guys. God bless. I'll catch you in the next one.